Rachel, good to see you. Marianne, oh, this is great. In all fours position, and then we'll go into some more isolation from there. So I just have to do one thing, so I'm all set, and that is, there we go. Oh, great, Sabine, hello. Okay, so we're gonna start, we'll start in all fours position, so you can start with your hands just right underneath the shoulders. And I'm gonna move in just a little because, yeah, that'll work. We can just a little closer. So you can start with the hands just underneath the shoulders. And the key here to release the wrist is make sure your shoulders are right over your wrists. And then start with the hip circle coming around. So you're just circling the hips around. Nice stir stick around. And if you can really dip out to the side. So I'm going to show you this way. You're really coming out to the side when you come around. And that way you can get a really nice tip out of your hip. And to me on the right side, it feels like bubble paper, like I'm pushing it out from the inside, not popping it, but just that push out. And then it's really nice to sway from side to side. If you feel any weight in through your hands, then spread the fingers a bit more and just see if you can let the weight drop through your arms, in your hands, out of your hands to the ground. Now, then come on into a child's pose. Bring the arms way forward, palm the mat, exhale back. Now here you're listening to the weight of the body, like do you need to keep your hips higher? Sometimes it's more like what feels to me like a puppy pose. So you might have your hips like this, but still let your head fall. So you get that wonderful leg through the backs of the arms. Now I just have to tell you, I watched and you can just stay with that pose. I watched a fantastic documentary called Fantastic Fungi. It is incredible. You can just get it on Vimeo. I think it might have been $6 to rent it. We bought it. Fantastic Fungi. It's so inspiring about using fungi mushrooms for, pardon me, for healing, for medicine. And I've been using cordyceps for energy for about 2-3 months. It's really incredible. And another one that's quite good to use is lion's mane, and these are mushroom tinctures. And the other one, so in the other one, so lion's mane is very good for the brain, and it was used for getting rid of a tumor in a case, a specific case of a woman who was 84 who had advanced breast cancer. So anyways, fantastic documentary, very scientific and relatable. And I just loved it. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautifully filmed. And then you can come on right up to all fours. Now, once again, spread the fingers and then come back into your circles, circling the hips around. And the other mushroom medicine I've been using is skull cap, and they're all quite affordable. I've been having somebody buy them for me, so I'm forgetting the price. And I think I've been using it for 5 months now, and I'm almost sleeping through the night. It's really helping me to sleep better. So that's been a huge gift. And just email me if you have any questions about any of them, skull cap, any of the remedies that I'm taking. Now, then you can come on right down onto your elbows. And this is a neat way to do your cat stretch. You lift the chin and let the shoulder blades slide down, lift the eyes, and then exhale and round and let your head dangle. And it's like you're pressing your elbows through the floor. And then you breathe in, gaze up, lift the eyes. And exhale around. Breathe in, gaze up. Lift the eyes, arc the back. And then exhale around. Once more, inhale, gaze up. Arcing, tip the bum bones up. And then exhale, stay in the rounded spine. So it feels as if you're pressing your elbows through the floor. Breathe into that space in between the shoulder blades. Continue to pull right up from the abdominal wall. So you're pulling the core in, and then you come back into your child's pose again. Release the weight of the head down. The palms are way out, and come right into your breath. Good. This one is very good for the low back as well as the core, in through the digestive tract as well. And then if you can, come on right up to a kneeling position. We're going to come into breath of joy, and kneeling position is also really good for for digestion. So this is a way that I'll often sit after a meal if I can. So you're coming into a nice tall back. I know you're familiar with breath of joy, but I'm just going to demonstrate. It's an inhale, and then you exhale and raise the arms. So it's like this. And it's quite fast. The exhale, you're pulling the abdominal wall in, and the arms throw right up. And then you come back down. We're going to go for 27 pumps. Make sure the elbows are back so your chest is open. And if anybody wants to go slowly, I'm thinking of some of you in your shoulders, then feel free. So just make it more robotic like this, and that will help to control the movement through the shoulders. Okay, so coming out, elbows back, taking an in-breath. Here we go. And then just let the arms rest. We'll take in 3 regular breaths. And here again, you're keeping space in between the ribs and the hips. The chin is back slightly, and you feel the shoulders really open. And good, keeping that space. Practicing the tall lift in the rib cage. And here we go, we'll go for another round, 27, breathing in. Good. So I'm just going to show you from the side. The elbows are, we take 3 regular breaths in between. The elbows are quite back so that you're staying really open through the chest. And also the chin is back, so you keep the upper back long and you stay lifted right from here, right from the very bottom of the spine. So very open. And that will be about 3 regular breaths. And now we'll go into another round. Here we go, breathing in. And then just let the hands rest. Now I just invite you to notice if you feel any different. You could feel many things. You might feel a lot of releasing through the shoulders. I've been doing this one quite a bit lately, actually a lot. Crazy amount. I did 1,000 on Saturday. I just did 100 about 10 times. And in between, I went into reverse prayer. So I'd like you to try reverse prayer. And of course, if that doesn't happen, this is reverse prayer, then you would come with your hands right to your elbows or thereabouts. And then take an in-breath and really lift the eyes and gaze up and take another in-breath. So exhaling and then in-breath, press the elbows down, even in the reverse prayer. And then you can exhale and tuck your chin. And this is getting that length right through your spine. And you really mush the chin in to lengthen through the back of the neck. So Rachel, this will be a good practice for the pose we've been working on. This will really lengthen through the back of the neck. It's quite a compression in through your throat. So think of squeezing the Adam's apple. And the gaze is just past the tip of the nose, so you get a really long neck. The gaze will direct your chin in, and then you gently release the hands. Take a moment with your hands on your lap, and then we'll come right into another round of breath of joy. So just notice how the shoulders feel. And great, we'll come into one more round, 27 pumps, breathing in. And just let the hands relax. Okay, very good. So fantastic for immunoglobulins in the throat. So for clearing out any viruses that could have come in through the respiratory tract. So it's a really good one to do at any time at all. Okay. I do it 27 times because I was born on the 27th and I remember it. So the 27th, there is actually no particular number that's better. It's that many people will do around 25-ish and more if it feels okay. I've been finding that the more I do it, the more I want to do it. And so I've increased the number. So whenever we're doing it, if you want to go past 27 pumps, please do. And then you can keep on building your stamina. The main thing is the exhale. The exhale gives you a longer inhale on your next one. So you want to do a full exhale. Okay, thanks for that, Shirley. So now we're going to open up through the shoulders. You can have your legs either straight in front, if that feels better, or you can stay in your kneeling position. We'll take the left arm up, and then taking the right arm under, come into your eagle. And if this is a bit too strong, you can come into a looser eagle that you've got just the hand, the forearm to the elbow. And then we'll take an in-breath, lift the eyes, and then exhale to lower. Breathe in and lift, and then exhale to lower. Good, I just need to make an adjustment of the lights. Just inhale, and exhale. Good. Keeping the tall spine as you lift. Okay, very good. Now let the arm come across. So you want to circle over and see if you can come with that shoulder blade coming straight across. Keeping your breathing steady in and out through the nose. Now let that arm come across, pull way over the shoulder blade, squeezing in through the armpit, in through the lymph nodes. And then you can draw that arm back. And now taking your right arm under, up, and then the left arm under rather. And then take an in-breath, lift the eyes, and exhale. And inhale, and exhale. And inhale, exhale, and once more, inhale, and exhale. And now you can draw that right shoulder blade across. Pull way over, you're just above the nipple line to get across the chest, and then you can circle over, drawing across. And then you can just let that arm down and then gently release the arms. Come on to all fours position with the hands right underneath the shoulders. Now coming into your cat stretch, take a dog tilt to begin. Lift the eyes and arc the back. Lifting the chin, and then you can exhale and round your spine. Just press the tops of the feet down. Breathe in, gaze up, lift the eyes. And exhale, round. Breathe in, gaze up, lift. And exhale. Tops of the feet press down, 2 more. Inhale, gazing up. And exhale, round. Breathe in, gaze up. And exhale, round. Now you can take your right arm across, so you're going to turn the right palm up. And take it over, and then take the left arm across and under, and just as much as you can wriggle across to get into the most comfortable position to let your head go. So that right arm comes over well. As you release the weight of the forehead, if you can, then you're pulling back through your tailbone. And stay with your nice deep breath. Good. Just checking to make sure. I just have to take back just a little. Keeping that wonderful, good, that wonderful length in your spine as you pull the core back. Keeping your breath full. And then you can slowly uncurl and draw back up, and then take that right arm under, the left arm over top. Wriggle, negotiate those wrists over as far as you can, and then release the weight of the head. Going in and out with the breath. And then on your next inhale, you can slowly uncurl. And now we'll take your bolster, and you can take the bolster right across your mat as I grab mine. Let's begin by taking the bolster. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to have you have the bolster come long ways, so you can have the bolster just like this. Okay, good. I'm just watching the camera there, make sure I'm in the light. Now, you can have the bolster just come in between the knees, and it's just about 6 inches out from your pubic bone. So there is a little bit of space between you and the bolster. Now, if you can be on your knees, fantastic. I'll demonstrate both. You let your head go, release the forehead, releasing down, and if it's a bit too much in through the knees, and if it becomes too much, you can have your feet on either side. You still have the bolster at about 6 inches. And you exhale forward. This is a little stronger stretch through your low back in your forward fold. So feel free, we're going to take 2 minutes here, 2 minutes to release. So feel free to change the position and move into straight leg position. So let your head go. Keep the toes. If your legs are straight, you can pull your toes back to get more of a stretch through the hamstrings, backs of the knees. And good, just 1 more minute. Keep feeling the abdominal wall come on in as you exhale, the abdominal wall comes in. Now on your next inhale, gently come on up. Walk your hands in. And then everybody will have you take your legs straight out in front onto either side of the bolster, if you're not already in that position. And once you are in that position, you can pull your butt cheeks back so you come right up to the front of the bum. And then just take your hands on the top of the bolster. Press down through the elbows, so you're going to get right to the front of your back. And you'll lift your chest, very much like doing a pigeon. So you're pulling up. And then you're going to extend forward just as much as you can with a flat back. So we're not attempting to get down, but you actually want to lift from the ribs and come on forward. Now I can really feel this in through the back. And if you're able to see your image, say in a monitor, or see your reflection, just see if you can have the shoulders in the same line as the back. Good, John, you're good. And you get that wonderful lift. So you've got your shoulder blades down. Again, really pulling back through the toes. Take the press of the heels down to open the backs of the knees and go into your breath. Really lift from your low back. Keep on pulling back from the toes as you get the heels reaching out. Keep lengthened from your low back. Keep the rise right up from the rib cage. So the core is really active. I can really feel this in through the low back here. So you're keeping the rib cage rising as you extend out. And then you can come back up. Now we're going to turn. So we'll take the left hand onto the bolster. Take the right hand behind to come into spinal twist. Come on right onto the fingertips and turn and lift up. So you're opening and lifting and rising. And gaze back with your nice tall spine. It helps to have the legs out because you can get more to the front of the bum. And just really get that lift. Pulling up from your low back. And one more breath. Lifting. And then you can come on back to your center. And now we'll rotate to the other side. Take that right hand on top of the bolster. Take the left hand behind. You're coming in really close. And you'll either be on your fingertips or on your hand. And get that rise and pull back from your toes. Really lift from your low back as you gaze back to the left. Now the other thing I like to do is on the exhale, really pull the abdominal wall up. So it's like you're sandwiching the ribs in. And if you can keep that activation, and then when you inhale, the breath will come into your back more. If you can keep the ribs pulled up. So what I'm not doing is letting the belly inflate, but seeing if I can pull the belly up. And that's not to be tighter, but to be longer, because the breath will come into your back more and you'll get more space in between the vertebrae. And then we're going to do that to the front again. So now reaching forward, you might notice your back feels a little longer. And then you can extend out and pull back from your toes, pull up from your low back, and keep the heels reaching out as you pull the baby toes side back. You're really lengthening from your spine. Stay with your nice full breath. Really lifting. Come on for 2 more breaths. So we haven't started the restorative yet. I just really want to get some work in through the back here. Coming up. This will come deep into your low back. Here we go. Now you can rise. Really stay long and lift it. Take that left hand down. Take the right hand in close. Fingers are turned out. Prop up. Again, we're right to the front of the bum. Keep the space in between the ribs and the hips. So really feel like a length in your back as you rotate. That shoulder blade is really coming back. One more breath. And then here we go. You're going to rotate back to your front and then take that right hand across, right onto the top, left hand behind. Turn and gaze back, get a wonderful lift from your rib cage. Really good. Keep right up. Good. Keep really, really Lifted from your spine. Gazing back. Good. Again, notice if on your exhale you can keep the abdominal wall pulling in, and then on your inhale, if you can still keep it pulled in so you don't expand. Good. Okay, and then you're coming back. Now, a little easier, we're going to release the low back by taking the bolster straight across in the same place. So you're going to then take your knees over the bolster, and you have space in between your knees and your bum. Now, you take the legs a little wider than your waist, and then you inhale and exhale and extend forward. Just let your head fall. Go into your breath. Letting the head dangle. Notice if then you can reach your hands even a little further out, and possibly the backs of the arms are pressing into your legs. So if you're like this, because that's what's happening, you would press the backs of the arms into the shins and your shoulder blades down, and that will give you a little bit of a pull volt forward. You'll get more of a pull, and then you can get out there more. And stay with your breathing. And one more breath. Now, on the next inhale, lift the chin slightly, and then come on all the way back up. Okay. Now, we're going to take the fingers with them turned in back, and then bend the knees so the feet come right to the top of the bolster. Now, take the soles of the feet together, and then you're going to prop yourself up, so you're going to lift from your low back. That's great. Okay, good. And then from here, just see if you can press the shoulder blades back and together. Now the chest will lift, and you want to really feel the back line of the arms. So I can feel the back tricep area contracting strongly. So the arms aren't soft, but I'm really pressing down through the heel of the hands. Now take an inhale, gaze up, and stay in that position so that you're opening through the chest and you're assisting the lift of the chest with the shoulders coming back. And then gently release the chin down and do that again. Press into the hands. The chin would be in line with where the ceiling meets the wall. So you're on that nice diagonal. The head's not too far back, and you're breathing in and out through the nose. And good, and then just coming straight ahead. And then again, press into the hands, gaze up, looking to where the eyes meet the ceiling and the wall. And then release and come down. Now, depending on what you can do, to come into the low back, you'll bring your heels to the front side of the bolster. Now, I find I can keep my heels to the top and then hold on to my feet and pull forward, and then it's a really good stretch of the low back. You can see it's quite a rounding, that's good. You've got quite a rounding, and that's okay. You want to get the lift right from your low back as you press the elbows into the shins. And that will give you a leverage up to pull deeply into your low back. Keep the breath. This is a really, really good pull up right from your low back. Now, the next thing is to keep the elbows, so I've got my forearm elbows pressing into the shins, and then to let your head round. You'll come into a deeper stretch in through your low back. And then you can slowly come on back up. Okay, now we're going to do a stretch through the hamstrings more. So I want you to take your bum back about a good foot, and you're going to have your feet slightly apart and press the heels right to the top of the bolster. And just when you thought the forward bend couldn't be any harder, in a way this is harder because you'll open the hamstrings more fully. So this may be enough of a stretch pulling the toes back. And you may even use your hands just to prop up and you have that length in your spine. So you're lifting just as we were. That is fantastic in through the low back and also the top of the hamstrings. Now, if you're capable, I'm just pulling the bum bones right back, reach forward and reach the toes back as you reach out through the heels. So you're really drawing up through the thigh muscles in here to send the thighs into the hips. And that will get you even further forward. Yeah, you get that lift. Breathe in and out through the nose. Lengthening through the spine. Get that rise. Now I'm really on the exhale. It's a very strong pull in through the abdominal wall. And again, if you have an opportunity to see your reflection or to see your back, if you can feel the low back is lifting, this is a very heat-inducing pose. And then you gently release. We're going to do that one more time. But what I'd like you to do in between is just a little maneuver that feels wonderful. It might be just a turn from side to side, or it might even be to let your back go for a second. Just something that you can take the effort off, because it really is a tall lift. And take another 2 breaths to release. Okay, very good. So we'll come right back into the position. So check that you're right at the front of the bum bones. Just pull the butt cheeks back if you can. And then pulling back from the toes as you reach and extend forward. And pull in strongly through the core. So again, you feel that pull up right from the lower abdominals. And you pull the toes back as you reach out through the heels. The shoulders stay down and keep that lift. This is using Uddiyana Bandha. That bandha is the lock of energy. It's a pulling up right from the perineum muscle. Perineum is right in between the anus and the genitals, and it feels like a plumb line pulling in and squeezing. And if you do squeeze like a Kegel exercise or in through the anus, that's okay. Eventually, more and more, you'll be working deeper into the base of the perineum muscle, which is really at the bottom of the spine. So when you squeeze deep in the pelvic floor, also imagine pulling up the core, and that will help activate the perineum. There's a very thorough science between the connection of that muscle right into the center of the brain. And that's really what we're doing, is we're attempting to connect the bottom of the spine to the top of the spine. Now, then you release. And one more time, you bring the heels right over the bolster. The knees are supported. Take an in-breath, and this time relax the fold, so you're going to let your head fall. And go right into your breath. Good, and then just continue that, breathing in and out through your nose. On the exhale, you'll pull the abdominal wall in. Okay, very good. And then you can come on all the way back up. We're going to go into some strong hip stretches today because Marion's with us. No, that's not the reason, but it is a good thing to do. I'd like to do a very relaxed pigeon pose. We're going to take the right outside knee directly up onto the bolster. So just because I know the light is very bright, that's my knee. It's coming into the bolster this way. And normally we would have the ankle across, but we're going to have it folded in to the body. And then you're going to take that back, left leg back, and then turn to the front so that you're squaring your hips, your belly button forward, and your back left foot is pressing down. Yeah, that's good, John. That's good. And of course, if you're turned this way, it's really just working with the give that the hip gives you. Now, as you turn to your right, with that right knee in front, as much as you can, get a lift right from the bottom of your spine. You can pull up from the skin of the belly button. Keep the rise. Keep that back foot pressing down. And then you can release. And now you'll take your arms forward, let your head fall, and completely release the weight of the head down. That's good. Good, just letting everything fall. Good, I wanted that just for a moment. So now come on all the way back up. Now we're going to take that heel in. And then either you're going to sit on the heel. So once again, it's coming right into the perineum muscle. So that's right into the pubic bone, just behind the pubic bone. And then the arms come forward. And this one is a pretty relaxed stretch. You're going to release the forehead down and the arms come over the bolster. And you let your head go with the forehead releasing. And come on right into your breath. And come for a couple more breaths. And now you can slowly walk the hands back in. And then you're going to tip to that right side where the knee is bent in. Come on to all fours with the hands coming right under the shoulders. Draw that right knee back. Draw your left knee forward. I'm going to turn to the side to help with the visual. So you're going to take that left knee forward, sit onto the outside of that left hip with the heel coming just inches away from the pubic bone. Turn the body to the front as much as you can. Press that top right foot down. Pull up from your torso. And again, attempt to pull this right hip forward. Pull the left rib cage back and lift from your torso. Coming up, lengthen. Again, keep the back toes pressing down. Stay with your lift. That's it. That's it. And breath. Good. And then on your exhale, release the forehead down. Let the arms reach out over the bolster. That left knee is going to be pressing into the left gut area. We've never done this before, so this is a little bit of a different way to get further into the hip in a different angle. More into, deeper into the hip on the outside. Stay with your breath. Two more breaths. Now I realize I'm having to stay longer on this side. Clearly this is my easier side. I did want to make that quick, so do gently walk your hands back in. So I apologize. I was thinking so much about getting a turn that I stayed longer. If you can take your hands to the top of the bolster, and then you're going to tip over to that left side. And now take your right leg forward. And you've got your, I'm going to show you in this position, you can stay facing the bolster. You've got your left heel in, and you're going to take your right foot so that the heel is just in front of that left ankle. So you've got that tuck there. And then you take the hands forward, you take your right arm over the shin and you bring yourself forward. I'm bending the elbows to reach out through the chest so that you can come out. And then if you can keep the back of this right arm pressing into the shin, this will give you much more of a stretch out through that right side of your low back. And you get a really good reach forward. Yeah, good. Opening through that right hip. Now you're welcome to let the head fall. The main thing is to keep the rib cage reaching out. So it's not so much down, it's more of a reach forward. And then on your next in-breath, come back up. So we're gonna repeat that. So on this next position, see if you can keep the knee from rolling to the outside. So I'll demonstrate. You're gonna take the right arm over, you press the back of the arm into the knee or the shin, and you press forward. And you might need to use your left hand to balance. You keep extending forward as you reach, and you keep pressing down both sides of the bone, coming forward, and stay with your breathing. Okay, very good. Now, if anybody can do a full wrap, this is a full wrap. It's where the hand comes behind and this arm comes around, and then you grab onto the hand. It's a wonderful way to go deeper in through your hips. So the hand comes around, you grab on, and then you extend yourself forward. So if that's possible, it's really fantastic through the low back on that right side. Now let's take 2 extra breaths in either position. Reaching yourself forward, allowing that shoulder blade to come down as you reach. And then on your next inhale, you can come all the way back up. Okay, very good. And now we're going to take the right heel down and then take the left heel in front of the right heel. It's very nice to use your hand to prop yourself to the front of your bum. And then come over with that left arm. Take both hands down. That left elbow presses into the shin as you extend out and you reach forward right from your low back. Staying with your breath. Excellent. Good, really reaching. Really reaching. Good, one more breath. And then you gently reach, push back up. And then here again, we're gonna have the knee in tighter. So attempting not to let it roll out. Then you can take your elbow over. And again, you might just press the arm, but keep the knee in. So you'll chip a little bit to your right side. Or if you're a wrapper, wrap that arm around, grab onto the other hand, and then you can extend it forward. Keep wrapping that arm right around the shin as you extend out. Stay with your nice strong breath. Wonderful reach. Really let that arm press against your shin to come out. Keep your extension forward. Now, on your next in-breath, breathe in and draw all the way back up, uncrossing that leg, and then let that ankle come in close to the other as you sit right to the front of the bum. Now, here again, if the knees are really high, that's no problem. You just might want to take the front leg a little bit further forward. So you've got your legs in a looser cross-legged position, and then you can lift from your low back more. Okay. Now from there, exhale and extend forward again. So we're doing a looser stretch in through your low back. You can let your head fall so you can breathe deeply into your rounded spine. Get a wonderful reach forward. Good, reaching. Again, the head dangles. Now on your next in-breath, breathe in and draw back up. And now take the ankle and other ankle in front, take your time. And again, if you need to have the ankles further out in order to get your back extended, that works too. Otherwise, ankles in pretty close to the body. Inhale and then exhale and release the head. Stay with your breathing. Good, you're really reaching out. Letting the weight of the head drop. And now on your next in breath, gently walk your legs, your hands in, sorry, and then you can draw your knees in and take your feet to the outside edges of the mat. And once again, hook your elbows over your shins. Now I've come onto the floor, so feel free to come to the front of the mat because you might be able to slide your feet out. Two ways to do that. You can grab onto the tops of the feet, extend your legs out and pull your body forward. And I'll show you from the side, or you can do this. You can do, you can take your thumbs up this way, palms forward, grab onto the top, the arch part of your foot, sorry, the arch part, and you're holding. And then you extend yourself forward. You're reaching forward from your chest and coming into a deeper stretch through the low back. You might be here. The main thing is to let the elbows, from the front, you're letting the elbows come under the body. And that will give you the leverage to pull yourself forward more. And then you'll get more of a reach forward. So just notice if you can get that extension out. This is a modified turtle. It's a great way to come deeply into your low back. And you stay with your breath. If you are far out, do feel free to let the head fall, unless it feels better and you can lift your head, because you'll send your chin forward and you use the momentum of the pull of the elbows back, pull of the hands to reach you forward. And you stay with a nice deep breath. Get that reach out. And then you can gently release the hands under and then come on right up into a seated position. And we're going to take your bolster and come lying right back onto your bolster. So take your bolster long ways on your mat. And you can have your tailbone come right up to the bolster. Now, starting either with the soles of the feet together, because you might be able to have your low back down strongly, or if it feels better to have your knees to the ceiling. So Rachel, just watch your neck here. This is where you might have a pillow underneath the head. Yeah, John, that would be good. Perfect. So for some of you, having a pillow under the head will allow for a more easy chest stretch. And you let the weight of your head back. And you draw the shoulder blades under, so there's a really nice opening in through the front of the chest. The front of the shoulders, rather, right into the chest. And let your whole body go. Good. Now take your shoulder blades under, wriggle them under a little bit more if you can wiggle. And then let yourself go again. Good. And if the back is tight, this is where you could come further up the bolster. I'll demonstrate. Or actually, rather, I'd like you to have a folded blanket just underneath the tailbone or a narrow pillow. Some of you use blocks, just something to get that ease of the back. So just make sure you're good. Your whole low back can let down there so you're not holding up. And then just let go into your breath. We'll be in this pose breathing for 5 minutes. Notice that the belly rises on your inhale and sinks on your exhale. And as I leave you in silence, just go right into your breathing. Notice if on your exhales, you can let your back go more. You've got a wonderful lengthen through your core. The diaphragm is lifted and open. And that opening of the shoulder blades down will release the front of the chest, the sides of the chest rather. Continue to breathe in and out through the nose, feeling the chest open and the shoulders rest back. And then on your next in-breath, take in a deeper breath. Slowly exhaling. And do that 2 more times in a really full and relaxed way. So you're expanding the ribs. Okay. Now we're going to draw the knees to the ceiling and have the feet apart and press the feet down into the floor. Now press into the feet and tilt the tailbone away so you've got a nice tabletop position. Your tailbone is the same height as your pubic bone, and you're keeping a nice straight line right from your ribs right through to your hips. The arms are out to the side. Now do a small up and down, just about 4 inches of the tailbone. So you're going to give some massage in through the kidney area and in through the low back. Just getting subtle lowering. The other thing I'm finding that's really helpful is to press into the feet and the knees stay towards the ceiling as you keep pressing into your feet. And that way you can activate more in through the hips. And again, you are creating a massage right in through your low back. And as you do, just feel the nice, gentle lengthening and releasing in through the low back. And go just as far up as you need to. And just before you come to the floor, jaw all the way back up. Now you're sending the knees out away from you. And that means that they don't come apart because you're pressing on the arch side of your feet. Now what I would like to do is, I find that the buttocks will engage, which will pull the tailbone down more. And that's a really nice feeling. So you press into the feet as the tailbone reaches out. Now just take your time. And if it feels wonderful, take the arms out higher. So you might come up and open your chest more, and also the top third of your lungs as you get that tailbone reaching out. Great. Keep the knees from moving, so you really press through your feet. Good, and the chest is open. Excellent. Staying with your breathing. We'll come into 3 more breaths, just working at the pace that helps you to lengthen your spine. Really good. And 1 more breath. Now gently, keep the hips in the air, not too high, just a little bit dropped, and let the arms come to the side. Now slowly lower your back, lower your tailbone all the way down, and then take your hands behind your head and interlace your fingers. Now do an inhale and then exhale and lift, and just gazing down. So you're rounded through your upper back as you press the feet into the floor and you stay with your breathing. Really tuck. And then from there, you can gently roll over to your right side. Feel free to hold the head and draw right up to seated position. The next is to take the bolster just out of the way, off to the side as we come down to do some core work. So as I mentioned, I'm going to come in, I'm going to bring the camera in a little bit closer. And working the core is a really great way to help strengthen your low back. Oops, cord there. Go. Okay. Okay, this should be just right. So we've got the back flat on the floor. And we've just been doing the bridge lift with our tailbone lifted. Now, I want you to bring your heels in really close and press the feet down into the floor. Now peel the tailbone up as high as you can and really press onto the insides of your feet. Take the hands down towards the feet and then press the backs of the arms into the floor. Now send the knees away and your gaze is to the ceiling as you press the tailbone away. Backs of the arms, press down. Now keep the tailbone lifting and then from your upper back, slowly start to lower down. Keep your tailbone up. See if you can let your your upper back down first and then your lower back down. And you may have felt a pretty good stretch right in through the quads. Good, we're gonna do that 2 more times. Holding on to the heels, send the knees away. Keep pressing on the inside of the feet. The head is pressing back so that your gaze is to the ceiling. Keep pressing on the insides of the feet and then coming down right from your upper back. So keep the tailbone up until you come down. Breathing, breathing, coming down. And then you can let go for a moment. Good, so we're going for that long spine. Good, keeping the backs of the arms pressing down, holding the feet. Again, send the knees out, send the tailbone far away, really reaching out, pressing on the insides of your feet. Breath, shoulders are back. Neck is free so that eyes are gazing to the ceiling. And then on your next exhale, lower from the upper back. Keep your tailbone up as long as you can. So you're really long through the spine. Let yourself come all the way down. And then you can gently release and let your whole low back down for a moment. Take your right knee in and hug that knee in close. Now lift your chin, round your spine, and tuck your chin into your knee. And then release that right knee. Let the head back. Hold on to the left knee. Exhale and lift. And then you can keep that knee just in the air. Take the arms down to the side. Take the right knee into the air. And the knees are directly over your hips. So this is a straight line right from here to here, hip right to the knee. Now the arms you press down, and with a really nice control, the knees are kissing together. You're going to come into circles that come out just about 8 inches if you can keep the control through the core like a girdle, or just about 3 inches. And I'm circling around, coming into circles that are about 10 inches wide, in diameter rather. So you're coming around. It's a nice control. I think you're probably following, but I'm just going to give you kind of an aerial version. So you're doing this kind of motion. And the main key is to keep your ribs up so that you're squaring your hips and you're keeping the control through the abdominal wall as you come around. Now make sure, this is key. See if you can keep the the neck and the shoulders from grabbing. So Rachel, this would be a really great one to do. I know we're going to do more together, but this is a great one to do to work middle, side, and the lower abdominals. Precision, use a lot of precision to get the knees to come around. Now come in the other direction. Now here is what else you can do. You can maybe pull your knees this far out. So we were about here. So you might be able to pull this far out, and that will really help to strengthen the abdominal wall right from the top to the bottom. Yeah, and you make sure the shoulders stay free. Any comments, anybody? Just feel free to turn your mic on. I'm just wondering if everything's okay with the low back. If you're pulling in through the ribs, that will help to keep your integrity in your low back. It's just that this is really challenging. And I just want to make sure that the low back is not doing this, like pulling up. So you want to pull the ribs in, and that will support your low back from the front. It just sometimes takes a while for those muscles to be able to control the movement. Okay, now you're drawing the knees in together, and then hug right at the fronts of the knees. Let your shoulders rest back, and do a little rock side to side. And then you can let your heels fall. Okay, take the soles of the feet together And let the knees sway out. And then take the arms overhead, elbows bent, and rest back. Press the shoulder blades under to open the chest and the shoulders, and just let yourself go. Completely release into the floor. We'll come into a silent break. Good, and then on your next inhale, gently draw the knees together. Now, I neglected to mention that if it is too much strain through the inner thighs, then you can put rolled up towels or a block underneath your knees. And I did mention that if anybody needs to borrow blocks, because I know it's just we've been Amazoning up the wazoo and you might not want to order blocks, please let me know. I have a wonderful number here and I'm really happy to loan you some blocks. So draw the knees right to the ceiling and have your feet just naturally apart. Hook the right knee in and bend the elbows and then straighten your left leg out. Now, once again, take an in-breath, exhale, tuck your chin, and just draw that right knee in. Now, we do a counter stretch. You're going to take your left hand to hold on to the right foot, let your head back, and then pull that right foot. I've got my right hand on the knee. Pull that right foot towards you, and you're coming towards the opposite shoulder. Pull that left foot in, come in as much as you can, lying pigeon, and then do a wonderful rock side to side. Just let your elbows rest back. Okay, good. And then if you can hug in a little more to see if you can draw that foot up as much as possible. Keep that left leg straight and relax. No need to contract there. And now tip to your left. So this is where I like to hold on really tightly rather than out here. Pull in as much as you can and then tip and take that right foot down and the toe, the ball of the foot will touch and your right hand comes back. And then you turn to your right to come into your rotation. And you let your right shoulder blade press under as you open through your chest. Stay with a nice deep breath. One more breath. Keep pulling that foot across. Good. Now, just notice if you can pull the foot higher, just a little higher, maybe 2 inches, maybe a tiny bit, and pull the foot up a bit. Pull down again, getting a little different, a different range, right deeper into your hip. That right arm stays back. Stay with your breathing. Remembering spinal twists are very good for digestion. Working low back as well. Right now we're working the, just a second, we're working the ascending colon. So this is a great way to squeeze right in through the colon. And one more breath here. Great. And then you can turn. Now breathe in and then hug that right knee in really snug. And this ought to feel really good. I'm imagining you've got a good squeeze out through your front quad. And then let that right hip drop. Gently, gently extend that right leg out. Let your right foot roll out and let go. Get your body even, wriggle anything you need to let your body fall back more so the front of the body is open. And then just come on right into your breath. Okay, very good. Let's hug the left knee up. Pull that knee in nice and snug. Take an inhale, lift the chin. Exhale and pull that knee in. Just letting the elbow bend. Really tuck the chin. So now we're getting into the descending colon. You pull that knee in really snug. Let your head back. Good. And then you can take the right hand, grab onto the left foot, pull across towards the opposite shoulder, and pull that leg in. Letting your elbow bend to the outside as you do. Staying with your breath. Excellent. Pulling in. A little more if you can. And then you can tip over to that right side. Take your left arm out. Gaze towards that left palm. Pulling the leg across. The foot is coming up quite high. I've got the door here, so I'm just pressing it against the door, which is brilliant. So if you've got a bookshelf or a piece of furniture, it's really nice to hook your foot there. And then you kind of have the leverage to pull your left waist down. You can really pull in more there and stay with your breathing. Letting your body go. And then on your next in-breath, draw the leg a little higher up if you can. A little higher. Pull down again. Stay with your breathing. Two more breaths. Okay, here we go. On your next inhale, draw all the way back up. And now just hug that left knee in really snug. This might feel really good now. You've squeezed a lot of the tension out of the hip flexor. And then you can gently release that left leg down. Lie on your back and completely let go. Press the shoulder blades under. And let your feet roll out as you assimilate and feel all the effects of those poses, letting your body rest. And as you do, let your head gently roll side to side. And then you can draw back to your center. Now take your arms overhead, take a beautiful reach, spread the fingers, and just pull the toes back as you stretch out through the heels. Lengthen through the spine. Now just making sure this is okay through the shoulders. So I know some of you might need to watch in that it might be a bit too tight through the neck. But if it's possible, take your right hand under, and then the hands do like a prayer position. The arms are overhead, and then you're going to bend over over to your left, and then walk your feet over to your left. So you're like a banana, and if you can, you reach, wow, that right foot on top, and you stretch and lengthen out of your right waist. Stay with your breathing. I'm attempting to press the right waist back so that I can really square my hips down, belly button to the ceiling. So you get that opening right through your right waist. And stay with your breathing. Okay, very great. And then you're going to take the feet back to the middle. The arms come back. This time you're going to take, instead of your right hand under, your left hand under. So your left hand comes over behind the right. And then you bend over to your right side. Walk your feet over to the right, coming into a nice reach out from that left side, rather. Lengthen. Let your left shoulder blade come back. Stay with your breath. Good. Keep both shoulders pressing back as you breathe and open that left side of your rib cage. Keep your body resting back. And one more breath. Great. Now you can take your arms back to the center, walk your feet back, and now take your arms down just alongside the body. And just let yourself go for a moment. Let your shoulders fall back and let your feet roll out. And once again, let your head gently rock from side to side. And then relax the head. Bend the knees very gently, slowly. And then I invite you to do any final pose that you'd like to do. Here's a few suggestions. So I'm kind of acting like you're a DJ and I'm giving you some songs you might like. Now you might want to pull the knees in, hug, come on into circles independently. You might want to take one knee in, cross over again to do the spinal twist, the arm out to the side, and then of course the other side. Or you might want to come into happy baby. So see which one of three of those that right away your body said, oh, that's good. And then come right into that pose. Take a good 2 minutes to finish your practice. And another minute. And then you can take in 3 final breaths to finish the pose in the side you're with. and then finishing your poses. And now you can come right down into Shavasana, lying relaxation. Now, of course, feel free, because you're at home, feel free. Many of my friends that are teaching online will just kind of start Shavasana for them and then just leave them. So if you're like, wow, this is so good, then just stay and bask in the after effects of the postures and enjoy. Otherwise, I will give you the full 7 minutes of Shavasana. The basic way that we practice Shavasana is we don't go longer than 10 minutes because you can start to feel kind of dopey after that. So we do a little less than 10 minutes and then start to enliven our bodies again. So let yourself go while I choose the poetry for today. So many poets. When I saw this book in Book City, I was like, oh dear, I have to buy another book. And it was a big one. I was like, oh, I don't know about you, but I'm always trying to control my book buying, but it doesn't work. This poem by Mary Oliver is entitled Drifting. I was enjoying everything, the rain, the path, wherever it was taking me, the earth roots beginning to stir. I didn't intend to start thinking about God. It just happened. How God, or the gods are invisible, quite understandable. But holiness is visible entirely. It's wonderful to walk along like that. Thought not the usual intention to reach an answer, but merely drifting. I'm just going to read that again. It didn't really come out well. It's wonderful to walk along like that. Thought not the usual intention to reach an answer, but merely drifting. Like clouds that only seem weightless, but of course are not, are really important. I mean, terribly important. Not decoration by any means. By next week, the violets will be blooming. Anyway, this was my delicious walk in the rain. What was it actually about? Think about what it is that music is trying to say. It was something like that. Drifting. This poem is entitled On Meditating, Sort of. Meditation, so I've heard, is best accomplished if you entertain a certain strict posture. Frankly, I prefer to just lounge under a tree. So why should I think I could ever be successful? Some days I fall asleep or land in that even better place, half sleep, where the world, spring, summer, autumn, winter, flies through my mind in its hearty ascent and its uncompromising descent. So I just lie like that, while distance and time reveal their true attitudes. They never heard of me and never will or ever need to. Of course, I wake up finally, thinking how wonderful to be who I am, made out of earth and water, my own thoughts, my own fingerprints, all that glorious temporary stuff. So continue to rest back. Just feel your shoulders resting back as you release into the floor. Feel the length of your neck. And then take your arms out to the side like a T and press the backs of the arms into the floor. Bend your knees and just lie back there again. Completely let go. See if you can feel that space in between the shoulder blades sink even heavier. And then we'll stretch right through the rear of the shoulders. So take your hands together, interlace the fingers. Take an in-breath and draw your shoulder blades off the floor. And exhale to your left. Bend that left elbow. Draw the right shoulder blade across. See if you can pull way over, creating space in your back. And then you can breathe in. Come on back up. Exhale over to the right. Draw that left shoulder blade well across. Nice deep breath. And then you can breathe in. Come on back up. Now turn the palms the other direction and send the heels of the hands towards the ceiling. Take an in-breath. Exhale, cat round the spine and send the shoulder blades off the floor. So you breathe into that space in between the shoulder blades. Good. Now, if it's okay and really feeling for the neck, I'm just thinking of a couple of you here really listening to the shoulders. Send the wrists out, lengthen, and slide your shoulder blades down and back into the floor as you send the heels of the hands out. Stretch through the base of the fingers. Take in nice deep breaths. Again, the shoulder blades are pressing back. And then you can breathe in, draw all the way back up. Take the hands right to the ceiling and then shake them out. Really floppy. Really vigorous. And then come on into hand circles. Come around. And then come in the other direction. Good. And then you can just let the hands release. Let your shoulders go again. Take a deep breath in. Completely exhale, shoulders back. And again, a nice deep breath. And completely exhale. Now gently roll over to your right side and take your hand under just for a pillow to have nice support there. Let the weight of the head be held. And then from that position, very slowly draw right up to seated position. Now, just before we finish, I wanted to give a little abdominal explanation of how to work the abdominals effectively. When I was in university at the beginning, back in the 80s, we were, if you remember, that was the time of aerobics and Olivia Newton-John, and we did a lot of curl-ups, a lot of crunches, and this was kind of the order of the day, if you will. It was this. It was curling, curling, curling. Now, then in the late 80s, they were able to hook up measurements to see which muscles were firing, surface EMG, to see which muscles were firing. So they took a sit-up, if you remember the typical sit-up where your knees were held underneath a band, a strap on a slant board, abdominal board, and then you would come all the way up, which I can't even do with my back, and you would come all the way up. And then they shortened it and they put us into crunches. Now, the challenge with this is that you need to be able to really contract the the abdominal wall to be able to shorten. And what happens a lot of times is it's your hip flexors out grab. So that's where when you're working your core, as I was showing you, if you can have your knees so they're directly over your hips, that will keep you from shortening in through the hip flexor. If they're pulled in tighter, you're going to tighten in here. But here, you're going to have to use your lower abdominals to keep that length right in through your lower abs. And that's the only way to do it, is to keep the knees directly over. If you come in closer, again, you're going to shorten. So you want to keep the abdominals long. So that exercise that I demonstrated is a really good one to do to work all areas of the abdominal wall. And I hope you felt it. And also you can check that your neck and shoulders aren't involved, which they often do when you're doing a curl up and you pull your head forward and it causes strain on your neck. So it's much better to get that length right in through your core by keeping the knees directly over your hips. And then that will help you engage the whole abdominal wall. Yeah, so that's just a little quick abdominal lesson. Okay, you guys, we are all done. We'll bring our hands together and bow in namaste. Namaste.
Namaste.
Lovely.
Thank you, Celeste. That was wonderful.
Oh, you're welcome, Shirley. You're so welcome.
Just what I needed.
Excellent. Good. Good. Yeah, enjoy the day, everybody. Enjoy this beautiful sun.
Thank you. You have a nice afternoon.
Okay, thanks, Shirley.
Bye.
Bye.